What's happened, Marius?
My father died a week ago.
My condolences.
Did you ever lash out at him, steal from him, or lie to him?
No, I never did, except lying.
What do you feel?
I feel like you should be here with me.
I wish we would have met different circumstances, but...
You ready? So congratulations on your new movie, The Lawyer, which I got a sneak preview of the other night, and I absolutely loved it. And it's about to have its world premiere in London at BFI Flair in a couple of days' time. Can you tell us what The Lawyer is all about without giving it all away?
Yes, so The Lawyer tells a love story between two men, a Lithuanian lawyer and a Syrian refugee who is stuck in Belgrade, Serbia. And I think it's a very important topic, and but sometimes we become a little bit numb because of all the headlines and the most tragic stories, which are of course important to know about, but I just feel I wanted to share a tender connection, a tender story to kind of give a new perspective so we could still have empathy, which is very much needed for the still ongoing crisis.
So where did the story come from?
Well,
Your head.
I mean, this is a little bit complicated because, I mean, I patched it from different experiences that I had, my friends had. Some of them are very private, so actually I cannot share them. But from what I can share, what was very personal, it was also my father's loss that inspired the movie. Because I lost my dad, he died from a heart attack 4 years ago, and so during the grieving process, I had a lot of time to rethink my values, and where do I stand. But also I realized I still have a lot of privilege because, not everyone can go through this grieving process with the support of their friends, their family, and even the society. And of course, refugees escaping war, coming to safer countries, they are exactly at this position where they don't even have time or means to think about grieving process.
Yeah.
So I thought it was interesting, and then it took me there to share this on a big screen. So that was the starting point, and then I did a lot of research. And during the research, I met different people who shared their experiences, who also informed the movie.
So what I really loved was how you combined a gay romance with, in a much bigger story about the plight of LGBT refugees in Europe. But even more importantly, how you portrayed such a positive view on queerness. Why was that important to you?
Well, thank you so much. I mean, it was important for me because I think that we have more and more LGBT content and LGBT characters also in mainstream movies. But I feel that often those stories are a little bit repetitive. They focus on stories of coming out, of pain, and kind of victimhood. And I really wanted to share a story and to show these two characters that are not victims, not heroes, but flawed human beings. Because I think that, that kind of relates to a lot of our experiences. Like, we're more complex than just being a victim, even if we are in a difficult situation. So that's why it was very important for me. And I also think that some movies, more mainstream movies maybe, or even art house movies, focus on the same-sex love story
Yeah.
in a vacuum. Like, it shows like just two men and you know, who don't have any gay friends, and kind of just so happen that they fall in love. They're almost like not gay. So I think that's also a little bit dangerous, because the real experience that a lot of LGBT people have is that it is important that we are part of that community, of that culture. For me,
To my knowledge, this is only the second Lithuanian LGBT movie I saw, the first male one. And now I've read your bio, I'm going to go back and see your other three movies, because I didn't know you'd made any more. So, was this tough to get made, the film?
this is my third feature film,
Yeah.
and all my films include LGBT characters, but this is the first one that focuses on like same-sex male romance, and for me and for Lithuania. And it's the first time I received production funding from Lithuanian Film Center, so I had better means to make well, a beautiful movie, I hope. But
Because you got official funding, does that mean
yeah.
that attitudes are changing? Because I know it's been legal to be gay since 1993, but your politicians have been very anti-gay.
Yeah.
So are we seeing the change in Lithuania to the community?
I think it does mean that, and I think it does mean also that I proved myself by doing my first movies in a more, you know, in a different way, finding private funding or smaller grants. So it became kind of like, okay, we need to support this
Yeah.
filmmaker at last. So I'm thankful for that. I always say it changes for the better and for the worse. Because for the better, because the society does become more open and open-minded, and the LGBT community becomes more open. When I came out in 2011, I became this gay celebrity overnight because there weren't so many people out. And now it's not a big deal. There are actors, dancers,
Yeah.
photographers, and all kinds of people out. And I'm happy I contributed to that a little bit. But it also gets worse, because in terms of law, we don't have any same-sex partnership, adoption, let alone marriage.
Yeah.
We lack proper laws and healthcare for trans people, and you know, things like that. So, but I think we're moving to a good direction.
Good. I meant to say earlier that you actually filmed the scenes of the refugee camp in a real refugee camp with real refugees playing the extras.
Yeah.
How did that come about?
Well, that's indeed very interesting. I mean, I went to that camp, Queerness, Serbia, a year ago, for like a year before the shoot, to do my research, actually. And actually, well, maybe it's not nice, but I pretended to be a journalist because I needed to have access.
Yeah.
And I interviewed some people, and it was a very interesting experience. And then when we decided to shoot in Serbia, we were looking for different options, but in the end, the producer in Serbia managed to get a permission to shoot at the Krnjača camp. And I have to say, we didn't pay anything for the permit. It was given to us, I think, on the basis that, you know, we are trying to do a good thing here, to send a good message, and they were very supportive of that. And also, but we paid for the refugees who volunteered to perform as extras. Yes, so I mean, we really we spent there only a few hours, and
Yeah.
we tried to be as respectful as we can. As I understand that some people could feel uneasy about our decision, you know, but at the same time, I mean, I feel like we did that to send a good message, and also, you know, it's interesting because some people actually imagine that refugee camps are a lot worse everywhere. You know what I mean? Like, they do this assumptions that they saw one photo and they think it's the same everywhere else. And I think it's very interesting that we show that it a little bit differently, but it's also real. Yeah.
Romas, what happens to the film after your world premiere? Do you have plans already to show it in Lithuania?
We plan to release theatrically in September in Lithuania. And otherwise, I know that there are already some other festival invitations, but not yet public. And so there are some negotiations for distribution. We were lucky enough to find a sales agent, French company wide. So they're working hard right now to close those agreements, and hopefully the film would be available online late this year.
Deserves to be so. And do you know what you're working on next? Can you talk about it?
I cannot say much, but I am working on another queer story. I can say that much, and I'm currently in development, and
Okay.
let's see where that takes me.
You've set a very high bar now for LGBT films from your country. But aside from that, just give us one message you'd like us to take away from this film. What's important for us as a community?
If I would send a message for LGBT community, is that we really need to be empathetic, and we need to be empathetic not only to LGBT refugees, but to all refugees who are seeking for asylum because of the war in their countries. It's still a very much important topic, and Syrian war is still happening, and I feel like we should pay more attention to it because we should know what it means to be, rejected. And of course, not ethical to compare the struggles. I'm not doing that, but I'm just saying, we should be more empathetical and more thoughtful.
Okay, thank you for talking to us. Good luck with the film, and I hope everyone gets a good chance to see it.
Thank you. Thank
Bye-bye.
you so much.
What about special group or help networks for LGBT refugees here in Belgrade?
There aren't any.
You can't get help from a lawyer when the only things that work are legal.
A gay refugee would need to meet the very stringent criteria of our program, just like any other refugee.
Look, he just needs to leave.
Stay with me. For what? Because you want your live show?
Don't say that! Let's bribe someone.